Do you need a break? How about a little adventure? British Columbia offers breathtaking scenery, endless outdoor activities, and it's all right here in our own backyard. Welcome to the BC Adventure Show, brought to you by discoveryseatours.ca. And now, your host.
Perfect day. The sky will be blue. Sun is yellow.
Yes, this is your host, James Martell, and today I'm here with Alaia Haymer, Sales and Events Manager for Poets Cove, and we'll be talking about Pender Island, and more specifically about Poets Cove, which is tucked away in Bedwell Harbour on Pender Island. Now, before Alaia joins us, just a reminder that if you have questions, comments, or would like to share your latest BC adventure with us, visit us at Facebook/MyBCAdventures. Alaia, welcome to the BC Adventure Show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, here we are again, another little jewel in the province of British Columbia. I must say I've lived here my entire life. I live over in the White Rock area. I was actually born in Vancouver General Hospital, and I must say, even though looking across the water to the islands and sailing through the islands a few times into Victoria over the years, I must say, I embarrassingly say, I don't think I've ever been to Pender. And I have a feeling that many of our listeners who live over on the mainland here would probably be able to say the same thing. Tell us now, for someone that's in the area every day and working there and hanging out amongst this incredible natural beauty of the Gulf Islands, what's it like to spend time in and around the resort?
Well, I think for our guests, it's a really good location to get away from the hustle and bustle and the busyness of the city. It's quiet and beautiful, and you kind of have a choice of, if you'd like to do some activities, you can entertain yourself that way, and if you just want to sit back and relax and enjoy the spa or something, you can have a quiet little retreat as well.
I do know that you have many amenities at Poets Cove, and I'd like to talk about those in a few minutes, including some of the tours that happen out on the water. But before doing that, let's talk a little bit about Pender for those who may not know where Pender Island is situated. Of course, there's all kinds of people that have moved into the Greater Vancouver area and are new to our lovely province here and may not be aware of the beautiful Gulf Islands. Explain a little bit about where they're located and how someone would get there.
Yeah, so we're in the middle of Victoria and Vancouver, really. You can access from either city, but Pender Island, specifically Poets Cove, is closest to Sydney. It's about 40 minutes out of there, but we can be reached from Tsawwassen as well, just via the regular ferries there. It'll give you a ride through the Gulf Islands, and you'll stop at Maine and stop at Galiano, but you'll end up on Pender.
Now, with Pender Island itself, I know we talked with Alaia over on Saturna, who owns the Wild Time Coffee House in a recent edition of the BC Adventure Show, and she talked a little bit about the population and the beautiful surroundings of Saturna. And the population of that island, if I recall, was around 250 people. So not a lot of people on Saturna. I understand Pender is quite a bit larger.
Pender, it's a little bit bigger. It's about 2,500 year-round, but it expands in the summer with all the guests and the boating season. When that comes up, it's a lot bigger. We're not quite the size of Salt Spring, which has everything. It's kind of a little city almost to itself, but we're kind of in the middle. So we're a little bit more populated than Saturna, but not as sort of a city-ish feel as Salt Spring.
Yeah, what you're saying, it's not a hustle and bustle of Vancouver, really. It's not.
It's definitely not. It's relaxing. Our big thing is everyone's on Pender time, so it's a little bit slow going.
Yes, good old island time. I always enjoy that. They say that on Maui too, island time.
Exactly. There is definitely something to be said for that, and the speed of which we all move around here. But that's good for a vacation. It's perfect.
You bet. Do you get that same feeling? I don't know, well, maybe because you're there all the time. I do know any time that I get on one of the BC ferries, which I always love to do, because we're always going somewhere nice, and that's the beautiful thing about this province that we're in. But I notice when we get off the ferry, whether it's up the Sunshine Coast or maybe Nanaimo or into the Victoria area, as soon as you pull off that ferry, everything seems to just slow down. It's like, oh, do you get that same feeling on Pender?
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's kind of a relief to be here, I always find, after I'm in the city for a while.
There's this trend of people moving into the Greater Vancouver from all over the world, and I guess it's not a surprise that people love Vancouver because it is a beautiful city, but it is busy, and it's getting busier and busier every day. I do also know that from conversations with you earlier that people fly in to Poets Cove or visit Poets Cove from as far away as Asia, and I think you said as far away as Europe as well. And here we are living in the Greater Vancouver area with this little gem just across the water, really. Just probably, I would imagine, how long would it take to get over there once you get on the ferry?
On the ferry, it's about 2.5 hours because of the stops. But I must say, it's not bad. It's because you get such a nice sort of trip through the Gulf Islands that it's kind of like a mini cruise, you could say.
It is like a mini cruise. That's what I always call it. I mean, you're cruising through those beautiful Gulf Islands, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And once in a while, you get lucky and you see a little bit of sea life. I know sometimes the captain will come on board and says, we've got a pod of killer whales over to the right. And I do know you've got sometimes sea lions up on the rocks. So you do get a little bit of experience. And then, of course, as you're sailing through the pass there and through those beautiful islands, that I would think some people should just take the ferry just to see that alone. It's really an experience. Now talking about getting out on the water, once you're in Pender, I do know that Peter Stolting over at Discovery Sea Tours, he offers a tour, and I believe you just spent some time with Peter and some of the staff from Poets Cove out on that day trip or out on that tour. Could you give us a little bit of an idea of what happens during that little adventure?
Yeah, well, he's got a few different tours now, but most of them will take you out and about. They'll take you around Saturna, through a few of the other Gulf Islands, and the nice thing is he lets us stop, too, and go to the winery, which is a beautiful location, and the summer has a little bistro at it as well. They'll do tastings and even give you a tour of the facility, which is kind of neat for those who are interested in that kind of a thing. And he's great. We can also do little stops, like you were talking about the coffee shop that Alaia was talking about on one of the last shows. It's a neat another little gem that's a little bit hidden away. So he's got a bit of the local knowledge, I guess you might say. And there's another tour as well, which he's just coming up with, which is a bit of a more historic one. So lighthouses are kind of the focus of that. So those who are interested in a little bit more of local history. He's very knowledgeable, not only about plants and animals around here, he can point out things on shore, but he's got a good background in, I guess, the history of the area and the facts, that kind of thing.
He calls it the West Coast Lighthouse / Winery Cruise, and it looks like a spectacular trip. I'm actually going to have to hit him up on it. He says you visit 4 historic Gulf Island and San Juan Island lighthouses to learn their history and significance to our coastline on this 50 nautical mile, 4.5-hour journey through sheltered water. Stop at scenic Saturna Winery to walk through the vineyard for wine tasting, visit the bistro, or just stretch your legs and let the kids enjoy the sandy beach. Along the way, see seals, eagles, porpoise, sea lions, and a 50% chance of whales as we travel through the middle of their summer feeding grounds. And I guess that departs right from Poets Cove?
It does. You've got a few different departure points, but you can definitely access any of his tours from here. And
I would imagine they may have something listed on the Poets Cove site?
Yeah, we do. It might not be up yet, but our concierge is ready to tell anyone about his tours. They've got all the details, so people can check them out on our website or give us a call as well.
Terrific. I can see we need to take a break. We'll be right back with Alaia Haymer, Sales and Events Manager for Poets Cove.
Enjoy adventures where eagles soar, whales play, and around the next corner is a soft pebble beach. Discovery Sea Tours, specializing in private charters and group tours. Visit discoveryseatours.ca for details.
Yes, I'm here with Alaia Haymer, Sales and Events Manager for Poets Cove. Let's talk a little bit about the resort itself, the resort and spa. Of course, anytime you get resort and spa in the same sentence, you know you're in for a treat. So talk about the physical, the lodge, the restaurants. Explain to us what we got going on at Poets Cove.
Yeah. So there is the accommodation. So we have our main lodge, which is the biggest building on site. It's got 22 rooms. All of them are sea-facing, beautiful balconies on those. And then we have 2 restaurants. So we have a fine dining room. We have the Sirens Bistro downstairs, very kid-friendly, both, of course. And then we have our ballrooms, a big terrace out in front, which is a great setting for weddings, and of course our spa in the main building as well, and eucalyptus steam cave. And then up top we have cottages and villas, so those are really good family-friendly units for larger groups. For people who want to come spend a week or something, that's one of the best options because they've got kitchens and multiple bedrooms, that kind of thing. And then we have pools, 2 pools. We have a marina, cafe, and beer and wine store. So kind of got a little town down here on the south end of the island tucked away.
Sounds absolutely beautiful. And I've had a look at the site and the photos. The place looks absolutely relaxing. What do people do when they come there mostly? Are they there to get out on an adventure, get out on the water? Are they there to relax? Give us what's a typical guest experience like?
I think we kind of have 2 different types of travelers. The ones who want to experience the area around here, they'll go out on tours. They'll go on things like Peter's tours or kayaking, and sometimes even off to day trips to Salt Springs, Saturna, Sydney, areas that are close by and easily accessible. And then there's the type of person who just wants to come and sit back and relax, maybe use the spa a little bit and lounge around by the pool.
Let's talk about Pender itself. Now, I don't think I've been there. I know I've been to Galliano. I don't think I've been to Pender. Give us a little bit of an understanding of what we would find on Pender. So if we wanted to venture out of the resort and spa and head off onto the island, what would we do? Where would we go? Is there shopping? Is there what's going on Pender?
There is there's a few things, but there's our main area, which is the Driftwood Center. It's got everything, all the amenities you need, the post office, a regular store, that kind of thing. But there's also historic Hope Bay, which is a really neat little area on the north end of the island. It's got a great cafe. It's got a few little shops and great place to stop and have coffee. Look at the gallery there. There's a cooperative gallery for artists. Okay. So that's one day trip that I'd definitely make. The other thing is just to do an artist tour because there's, I'd say, at least 30 or more studios sort of scattered around the island, so you can go pick up a brochure and stop by all of their shops and studios if you're a little bit more adventurous and have a car, or if you rent one from the resort. And I was also mentioning disc golfing to you previously, which is kind of a novel idea for those who want a bit more of an adventure. Sort of a cross between hiking and golfing, traditional golfing.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah. For those that may not be familiar with disc golfing, I am because we've done it a few times on trips and travel. But for those that maybe not be familiar with that term, explain how this works.
So it's we have. Well, you can go multiple. You can go 9 holes, 18. So it's sort of the same idea as golf, but you take discs. There's putters. There's long distance. So it's sort of similar. And you're going to shoot for a pin or a bucket, that kind of thing. But you're going through the woods. So there's hiking involved as well. It's not you're dodging trees. You're going over rocks, that kind of thing. So it's not quite as clear a game as golf might be.
Yes, so this is like discs. So this is like different size, I guess, for lack of a better word, different size frisbees that you're throwing. And the places that I've done disc golf, it's usually a pole in the middle, and then there's a basket, and there's chains, and you got to hit the chains, and the disc has got to drop.
Yeah, we've got a few different types of. There's quite a few holes on the Pender course. It's pretty big. It's one of the best in North America, I've been told. So there's all sort of different ways to hit some of the pins.
I do believe Peter mentioned as well, back to the water for a moment, that there's a market over on Salt Spring. Is that?
He does. There's a few different markets you can get to. That's another, if you're here on a Saturday, it's great to check out the Pender Market. It's got lots of the local artists and farmers there, but Salt Spring is really well known for their market, and you can get there any Saturday from Poets Cove as well on one of our tours. Something like over 100 artisans there. It's crazy, the size of it.
That's the thing with the islands. There is a lot of artists on the islands, isn't there?
Oh, for sure. I think you really see that here. Even at Poets, we have a little gallery that rotates every month and has a different artist. It features someone new, so it's kind of a fun thing for guests to look at, too.
Other things that people can do, of course, being on an island, there's a lot of water activities. I imagine there's a lot of beaches you could walk. For those who haven't spent a lot of time near the ocean, that can be an experience all onto its own. And not to mention, I guess you're probably offering kayaking, canoeing, various things that people can do on the water?
Yeah, you can rent kayaks, canoes, go on a tour either way. We've got a marine park right across from us, so one of the great ideas is just to go over there and take a picnic, hike up to the viewpoint, which shows all the Gulf Islands.
Sounds like an absolutely wonderful trip. Now, to people, let's talk a little bit about how long people usually stay. I would imagine it would be a great breakation, a little break over a weekend or a long weekend. But also, I would imagine people come in and stay for a week or two.
Sometimes, yeah, especially the marina guests. They come and spend quite a bit of time. It's just so nice to get away for a while. But families often come and stay for a little bit longer because it's a nice break for the kids. They don't have to be worried about them. Lots of stuff to entertain everyone around. Like you said, the beaches